Hello and welcome to the third in our mini-series this week looking at the needs of young people. We've been working through an ABC. Earlier in the week we had A, the need for acceptance, and B, the need for belonging. Today we come to the C word, and even though it's Advent, it's not Christmas, but the C word that we're looking at today is the need to count. The need to have lives that count for something. I mentioned the Children's Society report in my first talk, and that sadly discovered that many young people in this country describe themselves as having no sense of purpose. And as the book of Proverbs tells us, where there's no vision, the people perish. We all need to have that sense of purpose. And perhaps it's easy to see how destructive behaviour patterns, drink and drugs and risk-taking behaviours can easily be something that youngsters are led into when they don't have a sense of purpose in what they're doing. You know, we all have a need for significance, and one of the things I love about working with young people is that largely they haven't yet become cynical. They haven't got to the point where they've seen things in life that make them believe that there's no room for change. They haven't written off new ways of doing things just because it didn't work last time, or they haven't said, you know, this is how we've always done it, so therefore we have to keep doing it that way. Actually, young people, for the most part, are open to exploring big questions of life. They're open to looking at new possibilities and genuinely believing they can bring change. And perhaps because of that, it's that we find that research shows over 90% of people who become Christians do so before the age of 21. And at that point, they're still very much unpacking, what is my place in the world? How do I make my life count? And as a Christian, I firmly believe that the best thing anyone can do in order to make their life count for a true purpose is to actually give it away. As Jesus said, you know, when you try and keep hold of your life, then you lose it. But when we give it up to Him, actually, we truly find it. And Jesus gives a sense of purpose when He called the first disciples to Him, and they were fishermen, and He said, you know, leave your nets, instead come follow me and I will make you fishers of men. He gave them a new purpose. These young guys that He called to Him, actually, He said, I see the potential in you. He championed their cause, and actually He gave them something to live for. Now, many young people have an inherent sense of justice. You've only got to ask one of them to do the washing up, and they'll say, well, my brother's not doing anything. You know, they have that sense of right and wrong and justice, and when it needs to be fair, we need to have the same for me as we have for them. And it was great being in school last week and just seeing the number of students who were bringing in shoeboxes filled with presents and things to be sent overseas in the coming weeks. And also, we know that so many youngsters have done such a fantastic job of raising money for children in need. It's young people that are right at the forefront of the climate change protests, bringing climate justice. It's young people also who are leading the way in the race issues that we're seeing in society at the moment, and calling out racism where they see it. So young people have that inherent sense of justice, and it's about channeling that in the right directions and using it to count. And I think we need that sense of hope, and Jesus gives us that ultimate hope that actually with Him the best is truly yet to come, that we can look forward not only to transformation in this life but to all eternity with Him. And so as I conclude this series on looking at the needs, the greatest needs for young people today, I pray that amidst all the chaos, all the difficulties that they encounter, all the problems that we've mentioned and the difficult situations, that in the midst of that, I thank you that there is hope. And I pray that the young people in our society might know that they are accepted, that they have a place to belong, and that ultimately their lives do count, that they have significance, and that there's a God who loves them and wants to see them achieve the full purpose for which they were put on this planet. So I pray that you might join with me in encouraging the young people in your family, in your community, and indeed to pray for them, that we might see the kingdom come in their lives. Thanks for listening this week. I hope you find it helpful.